Hey guys, welcome back to Movies Music Mania. I'm your host Tristan, and today I am going to be reviewing A Wrinkle in Time. Now before I do that, I just want to apologize for not really uploading too often. I will definitely try to start uploading frequently from now on. I know I say that like every video I post. I'm sorry about that. I am keeping up with all the new releases and I am posting my reviews on Instagram. Just gets busy around this time, and also I didn't really have a good recording software before, but now I'm not using iMovie anymore. I got Adobe Premiere Pro, so now I can really start working on these videos. But today we're going to be talking about Wrinkle in Time, which is the newest film from Ava DuVernay. It's based on the classic novel of the same name. Ava DuVernay is a up-and-coming director who has brought us films such as Selma and 13th, both very well-directed films, both really passionate films, but they focused on a subject that she was very passionate about. This one is a little bit out of her comfort zone, so I was very curious to see how she would handle something like this. Not only is this a big-budget studio film, while her other ones were smaller, more intimate films, this is also very reliant on the visuals. It's a departure from what she's used to doing, so I was very curious to see if she could really handle this source material, because while I do think she is a solid director, this is a totally different ball game. This is a very different type of source material, and you need the right director to adapt it. It's very trippy, it's very difficult to adapt, and in the wrong hands you could get something awful. Now here's the thing, I don't think this film is awful at all, actually. Actually, I'd argue that it's pretty good, but it is not great, and it's got some serious flaws that we're going to be talking about, but I'm going to be arguing on the standpoint that I think this is a pretty good movie, and I think Ava DuVernay did a pretty good job, all things considering. And she gave us something really original. I think it could be this generation's Hook. It's not technically a great movie, but it's so original and so imaginative that kids who watch it could grow up and really enjoy it and have nostalgic feelings about it, sort of like The Never-Ending Story for me. But from a objective standpoint, this movie is flawed for sure. Now, first of all, I really like the fact that the lead protagonist here is a young girl of color that really shows some diversity. But not only that, this is a very flawed character. She's not your average hero type character. There are some serious flaws with her, and she's not perfect at all. In fact, all the other characters in the movie are more skilled when it comes to the tasks that they have to do, and she's always the one struggling. And that's what I really like about this movie. It's different. It's showing us a character who not everything comes easy for her, and she's got a lot of struggles, and she's got a lot of built up anger and resentment, and she's bullied, and she says in the movie that she doesn't even like herself. That is really dark and really surprising that it would be in a Disney movie on this scale like this, directed to a kid audience. Now, it's handled really well, and it's handled in a way that it's not too much for kids to watch, I don't think. But these messages have a little bit more to them than you see in a lot of these Disney adaptations. Now, I'm not bashing Disney as a company. I'm talking about the adaptations that they've been doing recently, like Cinderella and Beauty and the Beast and Jungle Book and that sort of thing. They're all solid in my opinion, but I feel like while this one definitely has a bit more flaws than some of the others, it also takes more risks. And this is one of the risks that I feel paid off. Another thing that really worked for me were the visuals. There are some stunning, really trippy, beautiful visuals in this. Some great cinematography, some great production design, and the visuals here are just so unique, so full of color. Not all of them work. There are a few instances where it kind of looked like rainbow puke. Gave me Alice in Wonderland 2 flashbacks. But for the most part, I thought the visuals were well handled. And Ava DuVernay does prove that she has a keen visual eye and she can really put unique images on screen. So I'm excited to see what she does next and if she does another film on the scale. Because it has a very epic feel to it. Because some of the visuals here are just so crazy and imaginative, and definitely worth it if you can see this in 3D or IMAX. Now, as I mentioned before, this movie is far from perfect. One of my biggest complaints are the performances. And I'm surprised I'm saying that because Ava DuVernay proved with Selma that that was her strength, directing performances. But here she's trying so hard to, give us something visually unique that the performances do feel lacking. Especially Oprah, who is like 10 feet tall in this movie. It's kind of out there. Her performance did not work for me. Also, Reese Witherspoon, who is a bit annoying in this movie, to be honest. Their characters just feel a little bit too cartoonish for something like this. It just didn't work. In the book, they quote literature, and I heard that it's one of the best parts of the book. In this, they quote like modern day stuff like Hamilton, and it just feels so out of place. There's one moment where she quotes Outcast. It didn't work for me, to be honest. I like that they're trying to make it modern, appeal to a younger generation. That just didn't work for me. It felt pandering. And some of the quotes she was saying just didn't suit the scene. It felt like it was just in there to be cool. There's also a plot line involving a boy that goes on the journey with them. And it's kind of a forced romance when it really shouldn't be there. This is a very personal story for the main character, and that romance just doesn't work here. In some other movies, I've seen them pull something like this off really well, but here it feels like it's blocking the real emotion. At its core is a film about self-acceptance, and it's a film about family, and that relationship didn't work in my opinion. But for the most part, I'd say the more personal elements, the more human elements of this film worked a lot better than the fantasy elements. This is such an imaginative source material that it's just difficult to translate that to screen. But for the most part, I think Ava DuVernay did a good job with this. I don't think it's a bad movie by any means. In fact, I'd probably recommend it because it's fun, it's got some great visuals, and I feel like kids might get something out of this. It's not a bad movie by any means, but unfortunately it's not really great either. I'm feeling a decent 6 out of 10. I'd recommend it if you want to see it. It's got its problems, but there's enough there to enjoy. Alright guys, if you liked this video, please leave a like and subscribe. Let me know what you thought in the comments, and thanks for watching.